Hello everyone, welcome to another episode of, Nick, what are we calling this? We don't know what we're calling this yet, but welcome to another episode. And today we're going to tackle one of the most common questions that we get, and something that we struggled with a lot and try to understand it when we started investing. And the most common question from investors that we meet is, how do I raise money to buy more properties? After I bought one or two properties, how do I raise more money? And like, what's the secret magic pill? And it's something that we didn't quite understand either, so I wanted to take some lessons from other areas and see if this can be helpful for you. I'm reading a book right now called Leaving Microsoft to Change the World. I'm not sure if you can see that. About halfway through, it's a fantastic book. Highly recommend it. And what John Wood's saying in this book is that he started a charity to build libraries and schools in Nepal. And he makes a big point in the book of saying that he wasn't aware how charities work, but once he started his own, he realized that he had to become the chief salesperson. He had to raise funds. If he did not raise funds for the charity, nothing would get done. His primary job was raising funds to build these schools. So it was a charity, but he had to turn into a master salesperson to raise the funds, and he continues to do that today. So I want to leave that with you for a second. Then the second story I want to give you is that I was at a software company called NetSuite several years ago now, and before they went public and raised like $1 billion on the New York stock market, their job of the executives in that company was raising money. Right before they went public, I think they did an emergency run for about $30 million from some of the investors to keep the company going right before they went public. Right? So the top executives of that company, their primary job was raising money. You know, that's what they had to do. And then recently I read another great book, and this one's I recommend this one as well. Isidore Sharp, founder and chairman and CEO of Four Seasons. It's called The Story of a Business Philosophy. That's that book right there. And he goes on to describe that when he was building his Four Seasons management company, how he had to partner with developers to raise the money to build the hotels. And his chief job was raising money. And Ted Rogers has a biography out. He recently passed away, and there's a biography out about him. And in that book, Ted Rogers, the founder of Rogers Wireless, a big Canadian wireless company, I'm sure everyone's heard of it, and he describes how he had to sell some land in Mississauga near Square One, Highway 10 in Burnhamthorpe, for those of you familiar with the area. And he had to sell that land for funds to grow his businesses, right? So he was looking how to raise money as well. And then finally, you know, Donald Trump, this isn't the book I wanted to share. I was trying to track down my Art of the Deal book by him. He's got a lot of newer books out that are a little more fluffy. The Art of the Deal is a classic that you should get. But Donald Trump in The Art of the Deal, I highly recommend reading it. And he goes on talking about how he had to raise funds from different bankers constantly to do his development projects. So why am I sharing all this with you? Is because when we started investing, we didn't realize one of our primary jobs would become trying to raise money. That's your primary job. As you try to grow your empire, you have to turn into a salesperson to sell your ideas and sell your passion and your knowledge to other people to raise money to build more or acquire more real estate, because ultimately at some point you're going to run out of your own capital. And if you're not comfortable with that, you need to get over it. And there's some books I recommend. There's a really old book called Winning Through Intimidation by Robert Ringer. This is an old copy of it. This is a fantastic book. Would really help you get over some of the mental hurdles involved in sales. So Winning Through Intimidation, highly recommend this book if you think you need some help in the sales arena and the ability to persuade other people to work with you and raise capital for your business. So to summarize, I have it all written down on this little board here, and most of the investors that we work with, this is my son's little whiteboard, by the way, that I hijacked for this. Most of the investors that we work with will kind of raise money in these ways. Either use lines of credit or equity in their home. And there's some details you need to be aware of with that, because the banks, when you use lines of credit or equity from your home, there's certain criteria that they're going to want and some things you should be aware of. So you definitely need to talk to a mortgage broker. But that's the number one way we see investors acquiring real estate. The second way is using savings. You know, of course, the age-old strategy of saving money and using it to buy investments. And the third way is partnering with family and friends. And you know, between family doing kind of little partnerships together. We see that quite often, family and friends. And the last way is getting a business partner or a joint venture. And the most effective investor we've seen do that has created a business plan of her properties. So every property is summarized on a sheet, and all the cash flow is summarized, and the earnings and annual earnings on her properties. She takes that summary to different people who might be looking to invest and says, here's my investment strategy, here's the returns I'm getting, would you like to do a joint venture? Perhaps you put up the money and I'll take care of all the work, we'll sign a joint venture agreement, and that's how she continues to invest. So anyway, that's it for today. Hopefully that gives you some ideas of how to think, and hopefully it's helpful. When we started, I didn't really understand that our primary goal in anything you do, starting your own business, real estate investing, is raising money, or whether it be a charity and trying to build libraries in Nepal. Your primary objective in all businesses and investing is always going to be raising money, so you should try to figure out how to get comfortable with it. That's it for today, everyone. Take care.